This condition has nothing to do with the sin of the mother, because there is a myth that cerebral palsy is as a result of the sin of the mother or the sin of the parents. That's why God is punishing them. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, I've had patients, either mother or father, tell me that, that it's a consequence of what they did. But of course not. Medically, something must have happened. Either maybe the child had jaundice that wasn't properly well treated, well managed. Most of the time, that's another thing. When a child has jaundice, they will tell them that they give glucose water, or they don't come to the hospital to know what should be done. It's not properly treated. It can result in cerebral palsy, or the mother had prolonged labor, and most of the time too, this prolonged labor could be from they've gone to a prayer house or they were in church having, and the labor is not progressing. Instead of them to quickly go to the hospital, they must have told them, if you go to the hospital, the baby will die. So the mother is there struggling to have the baby. Eventually, the baby will come out with this brain injury. So there are specific reasons, and not because of the sin of either the mother or the father. Something must have gone wrong in the process of during pregnancy or at the point of what delivery, which can be avoided.
Okay. So Nadon Yaran, cerebral palsy has nothing to do with the sin of the parents. So it's what can be done for this patient? What are the areas that a physiotherapist can help this patient to recover, and then by improve the quality of life of the patient to get better and better?
Okay, the first thing I want us to know is that the management of cerebral palsy is not just by one professional. Importantly, because this injury has happened to a developing brain. There are so many parts of them. There is the motor function that is affected. You can have their they can also have problem with nutrition, eating and all that. They can have speech problem. They can have bowel movement. So many things can show up at every point in time. So it is not what one professional handles. And then another thing is, because of the possibility of them acquiring what we call abnormal movement patterns, it is important that they seek help early. That is where early intervention comes in, so that the brain does not register this abnormal movement pattern. It's the abnormal movement pattern that makes it look like they wriggle like snakes. Those are them exactly. So when we begin to see them on time, we administer early intervention. We are able to prevent this abnormal movements from coming in. Now, what are the things that we can do? It is in the way they are handled. They have a problem controlling their movements, controlling their muscle tone. So if they are handled properly, we help them to be able to perform their activity with the least amount of energy. That way they don't become stiff. You see them, they just go stiff like that, and if they keep exerting themselves over and over again, it's difficult to perform activity. So that's what physiotherapy does. Physiotherapy helps them to work in, to move in a very efficient way, that you are using the least energy as much as possible to help them achieve. So it looks like they are slow, but then that helps them to achieve the movement and prevent other complications from, movement complications from setting in. At times too, when these children are kept like that, they are not moved, the joints are not moved regularly, the joints become stiff, or what is called to just, be fixed in an abnormal position. There are some of them who may not be able to recover, but can use what we call assistive device, like a wheelchair. Now, if they now get, stiff in one position, you will not even be able to put them in that wheelchair.
Wow.
And if they are able to sit in a wheelchair, maybe use a finger, like I've seen a person, someone with an individual with cerebral palsy, who wrote his work just with one finger punching on the laptop. So If, for instance, the joint have become stiff, he won't have had that opportunity. So what physiotherapy will do, ensure that the joints are, as mobile as possible, you maintain it, and then, you also help movement to be in such a way that is not exacting, as efficient as possible, and teach the mothers to how to handle, how to carry the baby, so that, or the child, as the case may be, so that, movement is as efficient as possible.
Okay, thank you. You believe with me, viewers, wonderful viewers, that physiotherapy has a lot to play. So the earlier, the better.
Yeah, that
so
is
there's
it.
emphasis on early rehabilitation,
yes.
early treatment. And again, I believe government can also and NGOs can also come in, to form support group to help these special kind of patients so that they can, cope. Because management of cerebral palsy is very financial. It has a lot of financial burden on the
It
parents.
does, because it is not, like I said, it is not just one professional, and it's a lifelong management.
Yeah.
As they achieve a milestone, there's always something they need to do in the other milestone. So it's two things, it's lifelong. So many professionals are involved, so the financial burden is not what a family can, cope with. So that is why we need policies, to help take care of this, like insurance cover for special need children, so that at least if the financial burden is removed, access to healthcare is available, parents will come out more. So many of them have discontinued on financial grounds, discontinued management on financial ground, and that can be taken care of with
Having a
insurance policies.
support group help these patients to live a better life.
It can. The support group is not only for not just even for the children, but even for their caregivers, because a lot of time from support groups you can get information.
Okay.
How this person handled that, oh, when my child was going through this was where I went to this hospital, this was what. And so that, and at times too, a parent might see it like, oh, this is strange. But by the time they go to a place where they talk about the different experiences and encounters, they will now realize that, okay, oh, there's nothing strange about it. And there's a comfort that brings to, the parent, knowing that, okay, what the child is going through, it's not, quote and unquote, an unusual thing.
Okay, the last but not the least questions, myth we have here. This cerebral palsy, does it just go on its own, without any form of treatment? Maybe some believe that it's just like the former question, the question I asked earlier. After maybe it just wears out on its own, maybe after some serious prayers or something.
That if nothing is done, the child will not be able to acquire the skill that he needs as he grows. Okay. This thing has to be learned. So it will not just go on its own, and that is the reason why intervention should be sought.
So if you have someone that has cerebral palsy, please do well to share this video, educate the person, and then seek the right information. Remember, in Best Life Health, we're here to make sure that we help you to make the right health decision and improve on your health seeking habits. Thank you so much.